Hello. Yeah. Actually, I was checking the meeting, so I've seen that the meeting is. Yes. Okay. Yeah. She's already. I can see she has joined. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, we are in. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, good evening. So how are you?
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Fine. Thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. My name is Mohammed Usman. I'm the new student from HND Diploma.
Yes. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can see James Husky.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Betty.
Hello.
How are
Good
you?
evening, Betty.
Good evening, Miss Betty.
Very fine, and you?
Fine, thank you.
Fine. Thank you.
Yes. Dashil, good to see you.
Yes, me too.
Okay, now I can see it's already class time. So I would wish to just welcome you to today's class. It's CET 333, that's product development. In total, you are 18 students in the entire class, and we already have Mr. Ishmael around, who's your local tutor. So I just wish to welcome you to this new class, and I'm hoping every one of us has received the notes apart from the assignment, which I'm still liaising with the local tutor to ensure that everybody gets it. Now for the new students, sorry?
No, I don't have the notes.
Yes, I was going to say about apart from the new students whom I'm expecting to have enrolled by Friday. So expect the enrollment link from me either today or tomorrow latest, so that you're able to access Canvas portal. Now
Oh,
the
Betty,
class is on, yes,
there are no notes on Canvas yet.
for this module, Paul.
Yes, for this module, it's only what you sent on WhatsApp. Nothing else is on the Canvas.
Okay, fine. I'll just follow up with the module leader. So the assignment is expected to have been already out, and the submission date should be sometime in May. Now seeing you don't have the notes and the assignment, so I think let me just follow up on these two main issues. In the meantime, I would wish to welcome Mr. Ishmael so that I proceed to the class. I'll be in the background for some minutes, then I'll log out. Any question up to that point from students before Mwalimu takes over? Okay, if not, I believe we are okay apart from the notes and assignment issue, which I'll follow up. So thank you, Mwalimu. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you, Betty, for the opening session. Thank you very much for organizing this. I think let me welcome the students to this session, this first session that we are meeting. Today, basically, it will be an easy day that we are just going to look at a few things based on what I've just shared. Quite a number of things have not been updated on the canvas, but nevertheless, things have just started. Even from today, you will realize that you'll have made some strides towards your project. Yeah, so I've just shared something just to guide us today for this first session. So you'll allow me to just project it, and this is going to guide our interaction today. So without much further ado, let me, okay, Hamad, you say you can't see what I've shared? Oh, I've not shared. I've not shared the screen. I'm about to share. Yeah. All right, Muhammad, you're there? I believe you can see now. All right, thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Today, as I said, is going to be an easy day. Before we start rubbing, before going to the main road, today we are just going to have a light one. Okay, I can see Betty has confirmed. The same has been shared to the to your WhatsApp group. Okay. Yeah, so we'll start with introductions. I'll introduce myself. Then you will also introduce yourself so that at least we know each other. I think once we know each other, we will be in a position to interact more and also engage in a meaningful way. So that's what we'll start with. Okay, then we'll learn more about the module and the module leader, what this unit is about, this CET 333 product development, and what it is not about. And we are going to just learn more about this module. Then we are going to have some session for QAs. So this is the lineup for today's lesson. So I'm adopting the content that we had last time because nothing has been shared on the canvas, and we're waiting for the module leader to prepare some guidance on that. Nevertheless, I believe it will not change much. So my name is Ishmael Obonyo, and those are my contacts. I have a background in computer science from all the way up to where I am now. And my research interest has been data science, system development, programming, web development, intelligent systems, we have machine learning and the related um, research areas. So that is briefly about me. I like developing systems, ensuring that systems work, and venturing into new kind of systems that are coming across. So that is just briefly about me, and yeah. So after knowing me, I would also request that at least I know you. You can just mention your name, maybe what you're doing, your hustle, and your expectation about this course. So I think I'll open this session for you just to at least see you, um, know what you're doing, and also what you expect from this course. So I'll not, I don't know if I should follow any order in terms of the names, but I would make it a bit easy that you just come on board. So I don't know if I can start with Muhammad. Then we go to Paul.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Muhammad Usman. Just recently finished my HND computing and I've joined the degree program this semester. So I'm currently looking for an internship. I'm not working as yet, and my expectations. I'm still, I think, to know the unit, what it is about, because I didn't get that handout, so I didn't know what to expect. But from what it seems, it's expecting to understand it and see how I can apply it in my career as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Muhammad. Thank you.
So my name is Paul Maina. I am a software developer and also do system admin. Well, that's in my day job. I also do some separate projects in the evenings. Um, this is my last trimester with Sunderland. We've done the other 4 modules since last year May, and my expectations on this module seem like it's product development. I'm just hoping that it's not as restrictive as the one we just had last trimester where we had to deal with Oracle. Hoping that this one has some space, some room to maneuver around with, let's say, maybe MySQL and no restrictions on using add-ons like CSS and JavaScript. Hopefully you can elaborate more on this issue.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much. And also clearly stating your expectation. Thank you for that. Um, let's go to the next, James.
Hi, my name is James Hasty. Again, I'm on the last term of the degree course. My background's in, I used to look after servers, Linux and Windows and managing all that. And now my current job is more software front and back end kind of development, but I do bits of everything really. So I took a look through the outline for this product development module, but and some of the previous students said they had to build some apps or something similar for some businesses. So I think roughly that's what it's going to be entailing, but I'm not sure. But I've not done something like this before as such.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, James. Good to hear from you and also your expectation. Welcome. All right. Who is next? We have Sahil.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sahil. I have a small background in server management, but now I just at home. For this module, trying to know best whatever is going to be learned, although I don't know so much about product development. But yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Sahil. Then we have Sahil Sheikh.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sahil Sheikh. Currently, I'm not working or anything, so it's just studies. And my expectations of this course are to learn more skills from it and enjoy the course at end of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheikh Sahil. All right. Then next we have okay. Let's see who is next.
Hello, Mr. Ishmael.
Hello, Patel.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Yes, my name is Dashil Patel.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a hacker.
All right.
Yes, that is my intro.
All right.
Yes.
Hope you are an ethical hacker. That is.
Yes, I'm in no, I am a black hat hacker.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yes.
But you know, it's in terms of
It's illegal.
right?
I know, sir, it's illegal.
Yes.
Yes, but then it's the best way out.
All right, we'll share more of
Yes.
that, and yeah, we'll at least we'll know more about that. But
Yes.
you know, we don't encourage black hat hacking. But we'll
Yeah,
hear about
black hat hacking, sir.
okay, we'll hear more about
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
All right, thank you. What are your expectations?
Hello, sir. My expectations are
Yes.
to learn more about networks.
Or to learn more about network.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm mostly concerned with cyber security. I want to learn about all of it, even if it's cloud, AWS. I want to learn everything
All right.
concerning security.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Good to hear that, Dashin.
Yes.
I think we'll learn together. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let's get next in line. Naval.
Hi everyone, my name is Naval Chauhan,
Yes.
and I recently finished HND computing.
Yes.
Now I'm beginning with this course, the ABC course. And yeah, I'm a student. I'm not working at all. I used to be a freelancer, but now I don't have any more projects. And what I expect from this course is to gain specialized knowledge, so I can apply it in my day-to-day life, not just general knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Naval.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And next, I can see Diego. Diego, I think we had met before. Please just come and introduce.
Mr. Hancho.
Right, Diego.
Sir, he said in the chat that his speaker, his mic is not working.
All right, my name is Diego. Sorry, my speaker doesn't work. Okay, Diego, maybe you can tell us your hustle and your expectation. Diego?
So his microphone is not working.
Okay, we would encourage that please ensure that your gadgets are working well, so that at least with that we can engage better. So Diego, maybe you can chat basically what your hustle and also your expectations. You can just put a chart there. Okay, we seem not to get Diego. Probably will get back. Let's go to Kush.
Hi, my name is Kush Satya, and this is my second semester doing degree.
All right.
And I've done web design for 3 years.
Okay.
But 2 years was coding HTML, CSS, and 1 year was just WordPress.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm expecting to learn about product development.
Yes.
I read through and I'm just hoping it's not like research.
Okay, I've heard people mention that. We'll see what it is about, and we'll be able to deliberate on it together. All right. Then next is Nirali Patel.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening to you.
I'm Nirali Patel. Just recently finished HND.
Yes.
And this is my first semester in degree.
Right.
Looking forward to know what product development is. I hope it's a really nice module.
Yes.
Currently just at home.
Okay. Okay. So you are not doing anything. That is.
For right now, I'm like a sales person. I sit in my own shop. I deal in stationery.
Sorry.
I deal in stationery.
Stationery?
Yeah, I deal with stationery. Like I deal in with. I sell.
Or you sell books and the like?
Yeah, on everything in stationery, office, everything. So it's just a recent shop I've opened, and currently I'm looking forward to grow it big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Niral. Then next, we have Moses. Moses, it's your turn. Moses, can you hear me? Moses. Okay. I don't know whether we are able to communicate, Moses. Then let me go to Zainab.
Hello everyone. So my name is Zainab, and this is my second semester. At the moment, I'm just at home, but I have some experience in PHP and HTML. And my expectations for this unit is to gain ample skills.
All right. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you very much. Then who is remaining? Okay, I can see Homer. Yes, Homer.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Hi.
I didn't know I was unmuted. Sorry.
Oh, sorry for that. Okay, then we have, please ensure that you have introduced yourself. If I've not introduced you, please you can let me know. I can see Caustic, Morris. Caustic Morris. Okay, so I don't know if they have an issue. I've not seen a chat. I believe they are able to hear us, and they're with us. If you have an issue, please you can send a chat just to alert us. Okay. We'll continue to interact. And I believe we somehow have known each other. I know some will still be joining as they register, but basically you know what you know about me, and at least I know some information about you. And in that context, we are able now to interact more. So what I'm going to do is that we are going now to continue with to the second part, and this is now going to be about the module and the module leader. Okay, so the module leader is Dr. Gary Untang, who is at the University of Sunderland School of Computer Science. So he will be guiding this module as we facilitate here with you. As we are going to see this course, there are some few tips that you'll be able to learn so that you actually pass this course. It's actually the easiest course to pass, as we are going to see, as we are going to share. So product development is a 20 credit module, which means you get 20 credits once you complete it. Students design and develop a solution for an organization, and that's the product we're talking about. Now, you're expected to plan, monitor, and track all the processes. And as you do that, you do some documentation along the way. And at the end of this module, you're expected to do a demonstration of that solution to the client. And the client is usually the local tutor. So you'll be able to demonstrate to me, and you'll be able to document that. Then you'll have to submit a portfolio of work, and this portfolio basically tracks the solution development from start to finish. Then you'll only do one submission at the end of this module, and the date for submission will be announced in due course. As you'll be able to realize is that you'll be given an assignment, which is a scenario kind of, which you're able to develop a product for. So I don't think if something is going to change. As I said, I'm adopting the content that we had last time for last year. So we have not received content from the module leader. He's still working on that, and I'm hoping that I don't think if something is going to change concerning that, even concerning how we are going to approach the development of your solution. There were quite a number of feedback from the last class, which I think we are going to rework on organizing and planning how you develop your solution, and also reworking on the content, on how you can interact with the content to help you on the documentation. Without preempting, those are just some things that I'm preempting because I'm still waiting for if there's a different way that you're going to approach this. But from what is there is that we are going to have a solution to develop, which you are going to control the whole aspect of this development, as we are going to see. Then something to note is that this is not a full project, because if you're doing a full project, then it would carry 40 credits. It is not a follow on from the research. Sorry? Somebody's talking? Yeah, so those who are talking about research, this is not following up from the research, the CET 350. Then it is not CET 350, the research, and CET 33 split as a project into two discernible elements. But they are in no way connected. Which means if you are looking at the research and the one for project, then you'll find that they somehow like two discernible elements, but they are not necessarily related in or connected in any way. Then this product development does not include any academic research. However, you'll require to document the method, document the product, technical research, but it should be entirely be a solution or a practical driven documentation kind of. So your research should be entirely a solution based, not necessarily academic. Oh, so James, you say the module has been updated.
I'm just looking now and I've seen that it's been updated. So it's got some teaching units and the assignment at the bottom in the unit section.
Okay, let me just confirm. I think it's still working on it. Some links are still not active. Yeah, because
the assignment scenario opens for me.
Yeah, you see, they are not yet updated. I think he's still working on them.
Oh, they old ones? 2021.
Oh, you're talking about the old ones?
Oh, which one are you in? 9391? No, I see that in the units.
I think the assignment that's being put up over here is for last year.
That is for last year. The one for this year has not been put. The module leader is still working on it. In fact, he's actually updating them. So we'll just give him time so that everything is put up. And if there will be changes, then we'll be able to share. Okay, let me just do this. Okay. James, I see you. It seems you already have it. Yeah, this is the last one, although it is put under 2020, 2021. When I check on my side, it seems, let me see.
I think this could be this year's assignment as well, because it's talking about the delayed games, and the delay was only implemented last year.
I mean, this stuff wasn't here yesterday. None of these documents were here.
Yeah, it was
when I
put up
checked.
today, but
Yeah.
the assignment is exactly what they did last year, but it has some different language.
Okay. All right. So what we'll do, we'll basically, I'll get clear communication from him, so that. But I think this is basically the assignment. It's dated 2020. It's dated 1st of February. I don't know if this is. It's not under 2021, but I don't think if something has changed in terms of the approach is still the same. The scenario has somehow changed. But let's just finish going through this guide, and then we'll jump to the specific assignment. Let's just look at the guide that we have based on what was there before, and see if this is what we can get as we delve into now the real assignment. Okay, so allow me to go back to our slide and just finish it. Then now we can go and check the assignment and what is required of us. Is that okay? Right?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so there are a few things here that we need to get about this module. As we had said, it is not about research, academic research, because this will require that you do a full review and do a lot of documentation in terms of scholarly works. But this is not what we are looking at. It doesn't require production of a dissertation, but portfolio submission is a record of processes and reflection that is accrued from the onset. So even what we are doing today is part of product development. And I'm going to share with you basically some of the tips that will enable you to work with this perfectly well and be able to complete based on the previous class. We'll be able to understand how you can execute this in a better way. Okay, so once you complete this module, you'll have some knowledge, skills, and be able to critically evaluate processes for product development. So in terms of knowledge, you'll know a range of methods and techniques appropriate to a specific problem. You'll also have skills. Skills are in terms of techniques to determine, specify, design, build, and test a solution to a problem. And you'll be able to critically evaluate process and the product of their development. So in overall, you'll be able to determine appropriate methodology for development. You'll be able to design a prototype deliverable based upon requirements. You'll be able to select appropriate development tools and hardware platforms. You'll be able to develop a prototype solution according to a selected methodology. You'll be able to select and apply appropriate testing regime, which is consistent with the methodology that you've adopted. You'll also be able to determine measures that will enable you to formally evaluate each aspect of what we have discussed above, like determining the methodology, designing the prototype, development tools and platforms. All these you'll have to evaluate. Why do you choose this and not this? You'll also be able to evaluate the success of the process and development, providing external and measurable evidence. So as I'd said, this is adapted from the previous class, and I'm hoping that things will not change. But if things change, then we'll have to adjust. But as it stands, this is how it will be handled. So this module takes a student-centered approach, whereby you'll have significant independent studies and self-management. We are assuming that the scenario will be the same as the previous one. We'll have client tutor meetings focusing on tasks according to the program. And it is up to you to work individually to provide the best solution. You'll be able to evaluate the success of the process and development tools and hardware platforms. You'll be able to design a prototype deliverable based upon requirements. You'll be able to select appropriate development tools and hardware platforms. You'll be able to develop a prototype solution according to a selected methodology. You'll be able to select appropriate testing regime, which is consistent with the methodology that you've adopted. You'll also be able to determine measures that will enable you to formally evaluate and I'll be the client. We'll have some lectures and tutorials. We'll have directed study and research. Then you should also have unsupervised self-study. So I know you're doing BSc applied. I believe you're doing applied business computing, right? ABC. Okay. And there is Dashil, who was interested in being a hacker. I don't know if he's doing the same or he's doing network systems, BSc network systems. But okay, I think we'll be able to share. Now, whichever program you may be in, but I know all of you are in ABC, the core module documentation will be generic for all the programs. And you'll also have to use languages which are more appropriate to software development context. However, if you are also a network system student, this will still be relevant. And specific scenarios have been developed whereby this scenario will be given and you'll be able to reflect on your knowledge, skills, and expectations. Now, these changes may not be relevant to this because, as I'd said, I'm adopting this from the previous class. So I'm hoping that if things don't change, then these are what will still stand. But if there are changes that have been implemented based on feedback, then we'll have to share that. But for now, like the previous class, we had much of the content being advised to be diagrammatic, having figures, having some design, documentation, and testing protocols. Then there's something we call e-portfolio, and we'll be able to design your e-portfolio, set it up, and make it accessible. So you look at the quality of that e-portfolio. Then students should be in a position to demonstrate their product, gather some feedback from the client, and put a copy of this feedback into their portfolio. So I'll be giving feedback based on what you have demonstrated, and that feedback is fed back to your e-portfolio. So you need to plan the delivery of your solution within the broader module delivery structure. So there will be a timeline. You'll also have to share with me your time schedule or project schedule, that is, as we'll see the coming lectures. Then attendance, and I repeat it. You will have to attend, and attendance is very, very important. As we said, I know some of you have a background in developing system, like Paul. Paul, I know you are a software developer, but we need your expertise, we need your experience as we share together, so that you will be in a position to learn something. You will be in a position to help others who may be stuck in their projects. So we encourage you, and I encourage you to attend. Yeah, please attend. Give that time. This time is very short. By May, you'll be through with this project, and now you can do other things. So because it is more of a self-study, you need your own personal discipline. You need to have some good time management skills. You need to comply with the instruction and direction that you get. Like right now, we've shared quite a number of instructions and directions. Please put them down. Please write these things down and try to review them every day. You also need students to integrate what they are learning in other modules to design, develop, test, and evaluate their deliverables. So please try to apply what you have learned in other modules into this, because this one is a product that is going outside to the market. So try to put in those skills, that the knowledge and skills that you've gained over the years, and put it on this project. Then we'll work together, the tutor and the client. So we'll work together with you. Then you need also to adhere to what contact points are there, and to keep on track. So based on the guidelines that have been given, please adhere to those guidelines and keep on track. Put yourself on the check through those guidelines that have been given. Then you need to have some project planning and tracking skills. So you develop on your own schedule, but it has to be within the broader module schedule, whereby the broader module schedule includes both milestones and some review points. Then you will also schedule, you need to own the schedule and take account of this, plus your own deadlines and workloads on specific programs. So you need to actually adopt it. Don't put a schedule that is generic. Put a schedule that is very realistic. So in summary, we can say that the module adopts an approach with reduced class contact time, but much student self-management. But you'll not be allowed to just lag behind. So even if you are doing your self-study management, but you'll be put on check, and will be in a position to know when you are lagging behind schedule. The other thing is that this module will be very enjoyable, as you'll be able to integrate knowledge, skills that you've learned over the years to develop a solution for a client. Then you'll have two deliverables, a product and a portfolio. A product will be demonstrated to the client, that is, you demonstrate to me, and a portfolio will be documented on the canvas, on your e-portfolio link. Now, both of these will accrue during the lifetime of this module. Okay, James, thank you. I think you shared, how did you, I'm seeing you are getting it from Drive, Google Drive. You've shared it on your Google Drive, that is, James? Okay, Intel, all right. Okay, that's good, thank you for that. You are really, All right. Okay. Okay. Also, you put them into unit weeks. All right. That's very nice. All right. So I think that marks the end, and now we may have some session for questions.
So when do we get the assessment, the assignment?
Yeah, as I said, I'm still liaising with the module leader to avail this, and also if there are changes in terms of how the module will be organized. So I'm yet to get this.
Do we have to use any specific development tools, or can we use anything? I'm not sure.
Oh well, from the previous class, you are not restricted. You could use any kind of uh, a combination of tools, but what I would advise is that we look at the work that you've done, the input. Even if you're using, say, a framework, but what have you done with that framework? We are not allowed to use sophisticated platforms, but you can use any kind of database management system. You can use any kind of programming language. You can use PHP. You can use Java, JSPs, or the servlet. You can also use Python. Yeah, so you are not restricted. Like from the previous class, we had people developing web apps, desktop application. We had mobile applications. Yeah, so there are no restrictions.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you.
On the issue of the platform to use, there is I've gone through the so on the issue of the platform to use, I've gone through the assignment, and I saw on the section of about analysis is talking about using R or Python for the analysis. Would you care to shed more light on this? Is this is this really a restriction, or is it a suggestion? And if it's a suggestion, can we use, like, let's say, Power BI, or can we be able to, let's say, develop the charts within the application itself as opposed to using a third-party tool?
All right. Thank you. That is that was who?
Paul.
Okay, okay, Paul. All right, thank you for that. I know, let me just try to see if I can get the content. Just allow me to set up this. I think there are a number of scenarios, although I've not I've not confirmed if this is the assignment. So I cannot authoritatively say that there is a restriction. But from what I'm seeing is that we have different scenarios. And that what you're talking about as a use of R basically is not for applied business computing. So I'm requesting that we get the official assignment from which now we can base our arguments on, because I've not received the official assignment. And even on the canvas, there's nothing that has been updated as the assignment. Let me just check again. So Paul, I may not answer that because we have not been given the assignment officially. But from the last class, we didn't have any restriction in terms of the kind of tools to use for analysis. When it comes to that time, then we'll be able to be guided on which kind of tools to use. But from what I know is that this unit is there to allow you exercise some kind of independence. You will somehow become independent in terms of your thinking, in terms of applying the knowledge that you've gathered over the time. So it has a lot of flexibility in terms of what you can do. But the main thing that you need to take into account are documenting what you do. So you have to document everything that you use for development. You have to document the tools that you use. You have to document the processes. You have to. It should be something that somebody can follow up and see that actually you're the person who did that and came up with that product. So Paul, have I answered you?
Yeah, I believe so. I've actually looked at it again. I think there's a module called business intelligence and data analytics. So probably that was meant for them.
Yeah, we have different scenarios for different groups, different programs. So we'll just wait for the official assignment to be communicated, after which I will be in a position to comment on the content of that assignment.
All right, no problem.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Let's continue.
This recording.
Sorry?
Can be found on Canvas.
Naval, you're trying to say something? I can't hear you clearly.
I think what he's trying to ask is how can we get the recording?
Or the recordings. Yeah, this will be shared.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. No, you seem to be talking, but your mic is on, but your sound is not, you are not audible. So please check it again.
So the recording, can it be found in our emails or on Canvas?
I think he's referring to the recording of this class. He's
Yes.
asking if it's going to be available on Canvas or on email.
Okay, okay. This will be available. I think it will be available on Google Drive by default. I'll try to see how it can be uploaded on a Canvas, but it will be available immediately through Google Drive. There will be a link. Once we are through with the class, then we'll have the link to the video. Yeah, so the video will be available in about.
Okay.
Right. Right. Thank you. Let's continue engaging and ask as many questions as possible. Remember, next week will be marathon. It will be starting off the assignment and it will be marathon. What I know with this unit is that it's a marathon. Time flies. Yeah, time flies very fast. So today we need just to iron out everything so that we set the ground running.
I assume it's like software enterprises when we had to do the business development plan. Is it something like that?
James?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, just what it sounds and reads like it's very similar to software enterprises where we had to do a business proposal and all the documentation. I don't know if you've gone through that unit before.
All right. I think I'll just explain it in overview. What will be expected of us if things don't change. As I said, is that there are usually some reviews in terms of how the module is, but I'll give a brief an overview of how we are going to undertake this module. So, James, you're right. It will take that approach of having some business proposal, under which you go and develop a product based on that proposal and take it back to a client. But I'll be explaining that maybe in details. Okay, so to answer you, James, because as we wait for other questions to come, basically this module tests on your understanding of a client, like getting the requirements from a client, knowing what the client is looking for, and going ahead and implementing that plan or coming up with a product.
Sure. Yeah, I can understand what we need to do, but I was just wondering how similar it was to the other unit that we did. But apart from the development, it sounds very similar with all the documentation you need for it and things like that.
Okay. Well, I may not know in details the module that you may be talking about. But what I know is that it is based on coming up with a product which is which you yourself develops. You develop it based on your context in terms of what you understand, what you're comfortable with, and based on also in agreement with the client. So it's a user-centered design approach. At the same time, it is developer preference approach, whereby it is entirely based on your guidance. It is entirely based on your skills, what you are comfortable with. And whatever you have, whatever kind of asset, whatever kind of knowledge, whatever kind of skills, whatever kind of passion, whatever kind of preference you have in terms of technologies, because we have all these technologies, we have all these programming languages, we have all these platforms. But why will you choose one? And once you choose that, can you justify by documenting it? And why didn't you choose a specific platform? So you have to give a reason for that. Then when the client, you met a client, did you get the client's requirements? And after that, did you deliver? Did you develop a product that meets the requirement? So basically, it's just revolving around that. So it's a bit, it is a bit free or a bit liberal in terms of the kind of technologies that you can adopt. It is also free on the kind of methodology that you want to use or you want to adopt. Yeah. So, but you have you are working within a framework of the module, so everything has to fit within that schedule. But you're the one who is controlling how the schedule moves and how things are developed.
Sure, that's fine. Thanks.
All right. Okay, so let's get other reaction.
Looking at the documentation for next week's module, there's this section that talks about the deliverables, and it's looking at the documented system demo to the client and the portfolio which tracks system development from start to finish. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you develop the system, it's expected that we'll do the video screencast. But we are not expected to upload that developed system, that is the code and the database. I'm assuming we're not expected to upload it anywhere or to host it. And I believe that the video should be able to cater for purposes of demoing the system. Or the assumption is that you being the client will go through that demo with us and confirm that everything is working appropriately, especially when you're doing the user acceptance testing. Am I correct with this theory?
Yes, Paul. Based on the previous class, that is that is the scenario of how it is being assessed. But you will also zip your code and upload. There's a place for uploading everything that you have used, be it your source code, be it your whichever kind of resource that you have, you can still zip them and upload. However, you will not be able to set it up because that environment is not provided for. So what is important is that based on what you develop during demonstration, it will be able to come out very clearly. Actually, the way the assessment is done is that it is very, very clear if whatever you do, such that if you've not done it, then there's no way you can have the evidence that you've done it. But if you've done it, then it will come out very, very well. Now, even if you are not going to demonstrate it during final assessment, because the final assessment will just be basically you doing some screencast and very fast going through your product. During this time, all these things will be coming out. If you are developing a right product, from the first day that we are going to sign off the requirements, it will just come out clearly. Once we sign off that this is what you are going to deliver to me, we agree as two of us, then you go ahead and implement it. When you come back, then we just have a checklist. You said you are going to do this. Have you done it? You said you are going to do this. You done it. And there is a way in which that is checked. For example, if you say that you are going to develop a mobile app that is that will capture maybe the patient temperature and determine whether somebody has a fever or not, then that is what we are going to test. So we're going to tell you, okay, can you capture this? And what is the input? And what is the processing that is done? And what are we seeing? What is the output? So that is, I think that is the scenario that we may adopt this time around again. And the main thing is that it will just come out clearly, naturally, whatever you do vis-a-vis what you are going to demonstrate. So it is not that because I know sometimes the clients can be, say, expecting a lot, maybe to say that, but based on the process that we go through, you'll find that these things will just come out by themselves. So that by the time you are agreeing to develop a certain product, it is based on the mutual agreement between you and the client. And at the end of it, you need to control that process and make sure that you come up with that product that you had promised to the client. So that's how it is, how it was, and probably how it will be even in this class. Yeah. And so that's what now you need to start preparing yourself. It's just about discipline. In fact, if you are disciplined with your timings, you are disciplined with your schedule, you'll basically just. In fact, this is the easiest course if you are disciplined with time and schedule. How whatever you promised, are you able to deliver it? It will just come out by itself. Then documenting everything that you've done. And that's why it said you can't wait for 1 week. And it was happening. If you wait for 1 week to deliver your product and you have a whole 3 or 4 months, then it can't be it can't it can't it can't fit in, because you have to develop a product in a natural way, just how you are. Because if you did everything within 1 week, then there, there will be somewhere where you get stuck and you may not be in a position to answer some questions. But if you do it within the schedule that you've given out, you've shared it on Canvas, and you've said, this is how I'm going to work and deliver, this is the plan. And when it reaches that time, you ask, okay, is it there? Then you show it. You show it to the client, and you also see that actually I've brought something to the client. It will just come out by itself. Okay, so that's a good question, Paul. Let's get other queries. Remember, today is a relaxed class, just where we try to get acquainted with how to go about this course. If I may ask a question, I don't know, somebody who has developed a software product, can we get somebody to share with us if you've developed a software product? That is, if there are no other questions, but we still accept questions. You can give us an experience of any product that you've developed, however small it may be. We'll be very, very interested to hear about it. And please note that we usually take attendance very seriously, and also participation. So the more you participate, the more you'll be able to be evaluated easily. So take advantage and engage as much as you wish.
The issue of requirements gathering and client sign off.
Yes.
I'm seeing that we expected to have a sign off meeting with the client.
Yes.
Now that's you.
Yes.
But it's a bit confusing when you look at, naturally the requirements come from the client, but with the module, it's the student coming up with the requirements. So what exactly would be your role on the requirement specification?
All right. You'll be given a scenario, and out of that scenario, you need to pick up a problem that you want to solve. Now, whatever problem you pick will become my problem. So once you pick on that problem and it becomes my problem, then we'll sit down with you and agree. If this is a problem that you want to solve, what become the requirements. And the requirements are...
Joel, go out. Get out. Joel.
Paul, I believe we are together.
Yeah, sorry, I had some disruption.
All right. Okay. This is what will be expected. You'll be given a scenario. You'll be guided because you can't pick a heavy load that you can't handle. At the same time, you should not pick a lightweight that will not make meaning, that will not give meaning to what you are doing. So basically, it is a balance between the value that you are giving out vis-a-vis the potential that you have in terms of delivering that value. So it is a balance between those two. And this is guided by the scenario that will be given. So the scenario will guide the problem to solve. So once you identify the problem, it becomes a problem for the client. It becomes as if the client is the one that is having that problem. And you are going now to give me some requirements. So assuming that that is the problem, what would be the requirements in terms of system, if that is the problem? So that's where we start from. So we have to agree. If you are solving this problem, then at least the valid requirements. And requirements have guidelines on how to put or document your requirements. The requirements should be testable. Are you able to test those requirements? Are they important? And are they achievable? Are they realistic? That is. So that's where we'll start from. So the requirements will enable you to apply the knowledge that you gain all through from when you started up to now. The skills. The knowledge is what you've learned, basically. Then skills are things that you can do with your hands, things that are inbuilt in you. Then there is also the aspect of passion. What are you passionate about? You may be skilled in a certain programming language, but you're not passionate about it, you see. So based on the passion also, that will also guide what kind of problem you're going to solve. Now, once we agree that this is the problem and these are the requirements, then that now becomes what we call the TOR, the terms of reference. So you're usually given time to reflect on these requirements. And once you reflect fully, through, it should be end to end. It should not be just looking at isolated case. You need to look at it in a wholesome way from now up to May, around May. This is what you are going to deliver. So is it something that you can achieve? Is it something that you'll be proud of? Is it something that will prove you had learned something during all this time to come up with a product? Once we agree on that, then you are going to give a timeline. How are you going to deliver it? Then what kind of methodologies are you going to use to deliver? And you have to prove, that I'm using this methodology and not this one because of 1, 2, 3. And that one has to come out clearly. So there will be also some aspect of learning and learning something that you didn't know, or I know you had learned about software development methodologies, but you'll have to review and justify why you are picking this kind of methodology. In fact, I think I can share the last rubric. Let me just see if I can get it. I think this rubric can give us some hints on what will be expected of us. Where's the rubric? Rubric was shared here. Okay, I don't know if you guys, you watched that intro video by the module leader. I don't know if I could share it briefly. It has some nice opening remarks. Can I share it? Maybe we just hear it a bit. Okay.
Hello, my name is Gary Elbank. I'm the module leader of the module CET 333 Product Development. It runs on all 6 of the top-up programs. All students, regardless of the program, work on the module and develop a product for a given scenario. The scenario is unique to each program. You work independently on the solution and you'll document your development of that process onto an e-portfolio, which will be marked and assessed at the end of the module. Good luck with the module. I hope you enjoy it and all the sessions within it, whether you're working on campus in Sunderland or at one of our overseas distance centres.
Yeah, so I believe you've heard from the module leader what basically is expected. So I don't think if there's something that will change as such. It's about developing a product which will be given a scenario, and from that scenario, you'll be able to develop, document how you're going to solve a problem in that scenario. So basically, that is what is expected of us. But let me share the rubric. Let me share the rubric.
ગાન હોય ને એ માધુરી દીક્ષિત
Okay, so allow me to share this. So this is the last rubric. Yeah, so I think if we share this in early enough, it will make us be more guided in terms of what we do. So there's the first part of eliciting and documenting requirements. So here you'll be asked, did you elicit and document a comprehensive and a consistent set of functional and non-functional requirements? Now, if this was not done, if there's no evidence, then you'll get 0. Then if the requirements are incomplete or inconsistent, then you can get between 1 to 3 marks. Here you have no or little evidence of client's involvement. Then for you to score something like 4 to 7, there's some inconsistency or incompleteness, but largely good set of requirements. Then you have little clear evidence of client involvement. But for you to score something from 8 to 10, then you'll find that you have both functional and non-functional requirements being comprehensive and consistent. They being clear evidence of client involvement and approval. Okay, so how do you score all this? I'll go back to Paul's question, where they're talking about determining the requirements. Why is it that the client doesn't put the requirements? Yeah, whereby that's in real life, that's how it's usually done, where the client is the one that comes up with the requirements. Now, once you're given a scenario, then you will be able to put yourself as the client. Like if you want to pitch a campaign, you want to go and show it to some competitors, then you'd want to pitch something that is good. You want to put yourself in the shoe of a client and presume the kind of expectation of that client. So that is part of the testing. Are you in a position to know what the client expects? And at this point, you also work with a client, and the client will be able to put some some facts, like if you want to come up with this requirement, are they consistent? Are they complete? You see. So this is what we'll be discussing at this point. Like if you say, in this scenario, I want to tackle the issue of, say, you want to tackle the issue of giving an example of the previous scenario. Some were talking about issue of ticketing. So if you want to solve the issue of ticketing in a game, which was Olympic-like. Now the scenario was like an Olympic game. So you want to take the aspect of ticketing. How do you ensure that the fans get the tickets and they are able to attend the Olympic Games using the ticket? So if that is what you want to solve, that is the problem you want to solve, then we are going to look at the requirements. What are the requirements in terms of ticketing? Then we have to agree. So at that point now, you have to use the language that is appropriate. So incompleteness will come out if it is something that you can't have an evidence for. Or it can be inconsistency can come if it is ambiguous. Whatever you're saying is ambiguous, then it will be inconsistent. Are you trying to solve this requirement or is it this other one? So it has to be very, very clear. It has to be very complete and being in a position to pinpoint so that if you put your product there, then I say, okay, this is the first requirement. Is it there? Yes or no. This is the second requirement. Is it there? Yes or no. You can't start saying, okay, it is there, but you know, you can still prove it this way or that way. So that one doesn't become a clear requirement. It has to be very, very clear. Then evidence of client involvement. Here, the first is the issue of sign-off. Previously, we had students who could just come maybe in the late hours of submission and say, you know, these are what I was working on, and you know, you need just to approve, you see. So it becomes very hard if I'm not involved. And this is at the tail end of developing a product. So somebody comes with a product that you had not discussed, you are not aware of it, and the student now says, yeah, you know, maybe I was not able to submit it, but this is what I was working on. So you already have requirements and the product at the same time. So that one shows that there's no involvement with the client. And the evidence for that is that it was signed and dated. So if it is today, 2nd of February, yeah, then we'll say it was signed, we agreed on 2nd of February, 2021. So that is what we call client involvement. And there's an evidence of that. Another way of showing involvement is if we don't agree from the first meeting, then I'll give some comments. Those comments need to be documented. And once they're documented, you come back, we now agree, and they are signed off. That is, in fact, that's how we are doing it. It was not the first time. We'll do back and forth. We'll not agree from day one that these are the requirements. So we'll have to make some changes, and with that, we'll be able to agree, and then you sign off and you start off. Because sometimes it may be an issue of being ambitious, and we have to tone it down. Sometimes it may be issue of being not clear. What is it that you want to solve? Then we have to refine it. Are you looking at this or this? Then at that point, it becomes a bit clear. It is not inconsistent. Yeah, so that's how you do what? You develop, how do you call it? You elicit and document a comprehensive and consistent set of both functional and non-functional requirements where there is an evidence. So this will be documented and it will just come out clearly that actually you involve a client and yeah, you came up with some requirements. Then the issue of, there's the second aspect of develop and run a consistent project plan that matches the requirements and the needs of the development project in terms of organization, allocation of effort, and consistency of application with a meaningful set of concrete and achievable deliverables. Yeah, so this one is also very important because you'll have a project plan. Now, once we agree that this is what you're going to deliver, you have to put a plan. How are you going to deliver it? We have to agree. Now, what we usually look at here is the schedule. So schedule, if none is done, then you don't have anything. But for you to score between 1 and 5, you find that you have a schedule, but it is poor in terms of the requirements of the project. For example, if you say you want to go and design a database and you give 2 hours to design a database for your project, and then it doesn't match, you'll find that you can't do that. Or you want to test, okay, say the programming part. You find that the programming part is done 2 weeks to submission. Then we say that that one is not, that is not a good schedule. Then you are talking of delivering your product maybe within 1 month. You want to be done within 1 month. So within 1 month, you have done the design, you have tested, and you have installed your system. Then that one also is not matching. Yeah, so that's what is being tested here. So if you have some errors, omission, inconsistency, but largely okay, you'll have average score. Or you may have little evidence that it was well used. So you may have a very nice schedule, but you don't follow it. So if you don't follow it, it will just come out by itself. And this is where discipline comes into play. So you have to be disciplined. As we said, okay, schedule is not cast on stone. That is something that you need to understand. It is not that once you say, I'll test my system from this day to this day, then you have to break your back and follow that schedule. You can adjust the schedule, but the adjustment has to be congruent with the accepted standards. and it should not also be erratic. Now, for you to score well, you have to have an excellent schedule that matches the requirements and was clearly used during the project. So you have an excellent schedule and you used it during the project.
Hello. Hello, hi sir.
Okay, so I'm seeing some
Hello.
questions. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. Hello. Can
Yes.
you hear me?
All right. That is.
Can you? Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, Randy.
Yeah. So, sir, I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
To get to this excellent schedule for matches requirements, how will we able to do it? Like even if I do it, even if I meet the requirement,
yes,
how will I be sure that I met it? You see, sometimes we do something, we already reach at that point and then we know that now we don't know how to go ahead, and we have matched the requirement and we don't know how to go ahead. So will be there any help for that?
Yes, Nirali. What happens is that before we sign off, we usually have a conversation, and this conversation is based on what are your capabilities, what do you have at your disposal in terms of programming languages, in terms of project management skills, in terms of software development techniques. So all these are put together. Then you have a problem that is before you. How can you maximize what you have to solve the problem before you? So based on your strength, which we have a threshold. That is, there is a threshold of what you can do, and but we don't have maximum. Okay, we have a threshold that is the minimum that you can do, but we don't have the maximum that you can do. That is based on you. Now, if you choose the higher, the upper limit, which means something that you may not be able to deliver, then it should come out clearly. It will just come out very clearly that I wanted to develop an aircraft or a missile to, say, Mars. I wanted a missile to go to the Mars. You have developed a product. You have developed, let's say that is, I'm just talking of a weird, very ambitious, you become very ambitious and you can't now satisfy that requirement. That is ambitious requirement. So say you want to develop a missile to land into Mars, planet Mars. And now time is running out, and this missile is nowhere to be seen. So what do you do? I think that is the scenario you are trying to bring out, Miran.
Yeah, I totally understood.
Yes. So based on the previous class that we've had, we've encountered that whereby somebody had promised this but time is running out and this thing is not coming out. You can't really get to do it. Now, we don't discourage students from being ambitious. And on that part of requirements, we have three sections. We have the first section, which are about functional requirements. Then we have non-functional requirements. Then we have wish list. So we have three. Functional requirements, things that the system will do. And then you have non-functional requirements. These are properties that the system will, desirable properties of a system. Then you have the wish list. Wish list is things that you wish the system to have, but you are not sure. You can't achieve them. It's like you'll not be able to do them. So wish list is something that you are really ambitious in to get them working, but you are not sure whether they'll work out. And you'd want somebody who will take up your project to go to your wish list and implement them. So when it comes to ambitious requirements, what you need to do is that, please tell us, how hard did you work towards that requirement to a point whereby you give up, that it could not be achieved? Is there an evidence that you worked so hard, but you could not achieve it? If that is documented very well, then you get your full marks. So if you said you wanted to develop a missile and land it on Mars, and okay, you have not, it has not landed. Did it even go outside the Earth's surface? And what did you do? You see? So that one needs to come out very clearly. Did you make a step towards achieving that requirement? Or you became overwhelmed and you just gave up? So if you became overwhelmed and you just gave up, then you'll get a 0. But if you did something whereby you could show the first client meeting, I had done this towards meeting this requirement. I was advised by the client to do this. We tried it out. I came back, but it was still not working. Or by following another route, I was able to now come up with this. You will get your marks. So it is not that the requirements that you've specified, they have to be fulfilled. But you have to show that you did something and you are not able to achieve it as the client expected. But on the other hand, from day one, when you are signing your contract with the client, you need also to be a bit sincere with yourself, a bit reasonable. Don't say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a blockchain application, and yet you have not even written any small blockchain application. So these are some of the things that will iron out during our meeting, so that before I sign off your requirement specification document, I will be very sure that your requirements are consistent and they are congruent with the knowledge and the skills that are recommended. So Nirali, I don't know if I've answered you.
Yeah, you answered me.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you answered me. So basically, even if you try doing something and you reach to the requirement, and even if you fail, you just be sincere to that, because you've done something at the end of the day.
Correct.
Is it? Yeah.
You've done something. There's an evidence that you really toiled to achieve that requirement, to come up with that requirement, but you could not uh, come out, you could not achieve it. It will just come out. Even by the time you are now writing your final report, it will just come out clearly. And that's why I'm there for consultation. For example, you are stuck here. How can you go about it? I remember the previous class, we had an issue where some had not even uh, done some programming. As in, okay, they had done some programming, but different programming languages, which could not apply easily in this kind of scenario. So they had to learn, you see. And if you're learning something for the first time, you find that now trying to achieve whatever ambitious requirements that you had stated becomes a challenge. But you'll say, because this was not working out, I first did this, which I had to do this, so that I ended up with this. And when it comes to lessons learned, what did you learn? In fact, that is all this is about lessons that you are going to learn at the end of the day. Are you a better person, a better software developer, a better project manager at the end of the day? Can you be disciplined with the schedule that you have set out? If you promise a client that I'm going to deliver for you this system after this date, or by this date, do you keep your promise? Or when it reaches 2 days, then you say, even you understand, you know how things have been, and you could not achieve this. So if that one comes, then it will show clearly that you cannot deliver a product. And remember, when you're delivering a product, you are with other competition. So if you are inconsistent, then the other competition will overpower you. And that is the essence of going through this course or this unit module. Okay, so those are good questions. Let's continue getting others. So I've said there is the issue of schedule. So schedule is about discipline. Then the other part is about competency. So did you competently choose a suitable development methodology, tools, and that are congruent with the needs of the project? And are you able to argue for them compared to other alternatives? Yeah, so this is also very tricky. If you say you have chosen this kind of methodology, this kind of technology, this kind of tools, can you justify? Can you say that you know that there are other tools that are existing, but you have chosen this one with a reason? Or is it that this is what is within your disposal? So if you are able to clearly show that, then you will get your marks. But if the methodology or the tool chosen, but perhaps no justification is given against others, or the justification is a bit weak, or the methodology does not suit the project, then now you can get between 0 and 5. But if you have a good argument for the methodology over other available methodology and tools, then that is average. But if you have an excellent discussion of methodologies and tools and the appropriateness of these tools over others, then now you get your full marks. Yeah, so these are some of the things that I can start juggling about, but we'll be discussing them together. So as you also look for them, don't they should not be they should not restrict you so much. We'll be going through them together. Then the other aspect is that you have produced a quality system in terms of functionality and interface that meets the client's requirement. This is 35%. So quality is a relative term. But it will be, there's a way you will guide how quality the system is. It is a relative term, but there's a way it can be quantified. Because the requirements that you've stated up there, we'll now check one by one. How did you implement them? For example, let me just give you a simple system. Suppose you said you want to develop a system to do the ticketing. Let me just give that example. Then your ticketing, for example, the first requirement was to allow users to fill in the dates that they want to attend the games. Then after filling in the dates, then say it prints a ticket. Suppose now this ticket can be sent to email automatically, or this ticket has a QR code. It's generated using a QR code that can be validated. You see, that now becomes a quality requirement compared to somebody who just say, you submit, then once you submit, it is in the system. We know that you booked, but there's no output. You can't print this ticket. You'll find that the requirements, yes, is there, but is it a quality system? So all this will come out. So if you have a low quality system, as evidence in the design, how you designed it, you developed and you tested and evaluated it, and the documentation is weak. So even if you have a very good system, but you can't tell us how you developed even the database, how you managed the security, like in terms of people are able to log in. What is, do you have a security mechanism? How did you implement them? Yeah, so if there's no evidence or documentation to show that, then we may assume that somebody you employed somebody, and the person did for you the system, and yeah, handed it over to you. Or you went to to online and downloaded some code which are working pretty well, but you are not able to substantiate how it is functioning. So you'll be stuck. So if you have a reasonable quality system as evidence in the design, development, and testing plus evaluation, then you have the average score. And again, at this point, you have documentation that shows some evidence of systematic approach to software engineering. Then now you have the average score. And the client is averagely happy. But if you have a very high quality system in terms of how it was designed, developed, tested, and evaluated, and you have a documentation that shows a very good systematic approach to software engineering, then that one now you have the excellent score. Then the client is also happy. Okay, then we have the second last component that will be looked at. Plan and execute a meaningful testing protocol and evaluation of the application, which includes a specification of the technical deployment. So this one also should come out clearly that you have to evaluate your system. So when it comes to evaluation, can you prove that the system is able to do what you claim to be doing? And this one has 15 marks. So testing and evaluation is a whopping 15%. So if some testing were done, evaluation attempted but weak, testing very weak, approach not well explained, all the results are not well discussed, then technical deployment not specified, then you get weak score. You get between 1 and 5. But if you did testing and evaluation, but there are some areas for improvement. You have deployment specification is included, but there are some areas for improvement too. Then you get average score. However, if you did an excellent testing and evaluation with very good specification of deployment, then you get your excellent score. Then the last part is on the reflection, which is 10%. So reflective practice that shows that the development process and the product was properly tested and evaluated, and lessons were drawn from it for personal development and future projects. So if there's weak reflections, you get average, you get poor score. If there are some reflection, however, not all aspects, then you get average. If you clearly reflected on all aspects and clear pointing to lessons learned and future development, you'll also look at your wish list. So if you relate all this, and then if it clearly comes out, you get your excellent score.
Okay. So it's 50. Hello, Johnny.
All right. So I think I've given you the rubric. You are lucky because you are seeing this in the first day. So I know it's going to motivate you. Previously, I don't know if it's going to change, but I know the change may not be that erratic. It's going to almost follow the same pattern, but we'll wait for a new rubric. However, that was what was used in the last assessment. But what I can say is that the unit is very, very like whatever you do will just come out. If you put in some effort, it will just come out. So the way students are usually caught unawares because time has elapsed and they have to now fit in all these aspects within, say, 1 month or a few weeks. Then it will not come out. You'll just find that they can't fit in. Okay,
Sir,
so I
I
can,
have a question.
yes.
Okay, according what is it till now this what is the students do this module. So do you have any idea what is the best what is it app we can use to what is it develop our product? Like you see, we know so many other apps that makes the product here, but then is there any better product or any suggestion that what do you say this app will help you do everything to make the product?
Um, as in the previous class, we realized that um, in terms of the tools that are now relevant, remember some people might have done um, some programming languages that are no longer, you can't justify why you need to use those programming languages. So what happened is that they had to learn new programming languages. So what we did is that I did a profiling of the skill set, and with that, we were able to come up with some lessons on how to bridge the skill sets so that they match the state of art. Remember, when you're doing, you are justifying the kind of tools, the methodologies. You can't just say, me, I knew this kind of tool, and that is what you still want to use. For example, you want to use, say, Visual Basic. You want to program using Visual Basic because that's what you know. Now, you have to really, really justify using Visual Basic as opposed to, say, C++ or Java. You'll have to do a lot of explanation if you are going to use Visual Basic instead of Java or instead of Python. But if you're using Java or Python, then you'll not have to explain a lot of things for you to justify using that technology. So to answer you back is that we'll do a skill profiling of the skill sets that you have, after which we'll be able to determine the kind of tools that we can use to develop our products. Okay, so let me, I don't know, I believe I've answered you, Niral.
Yes, sir, I got it.
All right, thank you. So let me check on the chat. I'm seeing some charts here. All right, so I'll start with Kavo. What time does the class start? 5 or 5:30? I think it starts from 5, not 5:30. Okay, I think Sahil has just answered that. So Kavo, I don't know what your full name is, but we start at 5 and we end at 8. So are we making a Gantt chart? Yes, we'll use a Gantt chart for our project schedule. But if you're doing a network related, I saw it's called who? Dashel, who is a hacker. I don't know if he's doing a network related. He's interested in networks with the cyber security. You may also use a network diagram, but a Gantt chart is more preferred. So you can start checking how to use Gantt charts. Then Kush, you shared a schedule template. I believe you still adopt that. I'm not very sure if things will change. As I said, we are yet to get communication from the module leader. He may want to change a few things here and there, and we'll wait for his guidance on that. As for now, we can assume that we'll use that same Gantt chart. Okay, somebody, James, saying that Sunderland University doesn't like MS projects. Okay. Right. So basically everything that you're going to use, you have to justify. All right. So you say they prefer to use MS Word and work everything manual. Yeah, because MS project will do for you quite a number of things in the background without you learning. Yeah, and so you are encouraged to juggle all these things manually. However crude they may be, but if you develop them from scratch, then you find that you learn a lot compared to if you have something that just generates things automatically for you. And that's why in this module, you will not be allowed to use templates. You'll not be allowed to use templates. So you'll have to develop things. Mostly you developing them from scratch. However small it may be, but if you develop it from scratch, that is really appreciated. And the moment you document that, it comes out strongly to support your work, rather than saying, I did this, then this one happened. without you controlling. So you should have much of the control of the output. The more control you have, the better the product will be. Okay, so let's have more questions.
I am looking at the project schedule issue, and the focus here was on Word. I just had some points to share from the last trimester. We were doing a module called research, and part of it was to do a project proposal, which involved doing a project schedule along with a Gantt chart. Now, I haven't seen any anywhere much that has talked about the Gantt charts with this module, just the project schedule part of it. But possibly for the ones who did not get to do last that module, I might share some tip on how some of us went tackled it. It was talking about doing a project within 600 hours and allocating those 600 hours over a 16-week period, and we were to allocate the effort at an average of about 35 hours a week. So once you identify the objectives, or rather the milestones that you want to achieve, it would make some sense to work around that in Excel, having your milestones listed vertically, and then you spread out the 12 weeks. In that case, we were doing 16 weeks, spread it out horizontally. And then at the bottom, you try and match your task allocation to fit into the 35-hour schedule. Then at least with those ones working out to 600 hours, we were able to come up with something that was acceptable. And something else that you also noted was that trying to have tasks that are running concurrently to some extent, where you don't wait for a specific task to end before you start another one. Like for instance, with that one, where you're doing interviews on a particular week, it was possible to also look for research papers. Let's say you do interviews in the morning and you do your research papers in the afternoon. At least during week one, you're meeting the the requirements of 2 milestones. So, and that was one thing that was really looked at by the module leader. So maybe the MS project might not be that much, might not come to that much use for this case, but at least out there in the corporate world, it's one of the tools that are heavily used. But at least if you get an understanding of using maybe even Excel to just do that allocation, it might make it easier when you go out there.
Well said, Paul. Whatever you've just described is exactly what is being looked for. If you have a prior knowledge of something, then you'd want to see how you are applying it in your project, in developing a product. Here, we don't encourage use of well-established tools as opposed to understanding what is happening behind the hood. So yeah, when you look at MS projects, it is the one that is used a lot in the corporate world, but it is because you can't control much of the processes or the activities that you want to schedule. But if you work with tools that you can easily control, you can control their output. And at this point, we are looking at it's not a very big team. You are just here alone. And you'd want to see actually how things are being generated. What is, if this is the input, then this is the predicted output. You have much control on what output you're looking for. So basically, that's what we are looking for in this course. It doesn't mean that you can't use a MS project, but you'll have to justify why did you choose a MS project to do your scheduling. It's not bad. It is not that you will get low marks, but you'll be asked, okay, we have MS tools, MS project. We also have online project management tools. For example, you have online tools like the one that you can work as a group. It's called
Jaira.
Yeah, this Jira. You also have I'm just forgetting the name. It's called what? There's Asana. There's the Zoho project. In fact, that's what I was looking for. Zoho. Zoho project is also one that helps you to run your project. But you just want to explain why do you want to use Asana, you want to use Zoho project, and things like that. If you're putting your code on GitHub, you need to document that and also tell us why you are posting your code in GitHub. So those are things that should come out clearly while doing the documentation. All right. Other questions? We still have around 20 so minutes. So just a rejoinder to a question by Nirali about the kind of tools you would be expected to use. As I said, you have to use state of art. You can't just say this is what I know and this is what I'm going to use. You have to, because it will require that you do a lot of justification, which sometimes may not be fully justified. So you need to start maybe within 1 or 2 weeks. You need to start learning some of these state-of-art tools or programming languages. For example, if we are going to work with a web-based system, then something like Python, specifically Django or Flask, those are things that you need to start juggling with. Things to do with PHP, if you choosing a certain framework, be it Zend or be it Yi, be it CodeIgniter, or just raw PHP, you need to start juggling about that. If it is a database, if you still want to use Oracle, I know somebody had mentioned about the use of Oracle database, or you want to use MySQL or Postgre. Yeah, so these are things that you need to start learning. I remember the previous class we had to have some learning curve for certain tools, because if it comes to where you justify the use of certain tools, then it will force you to learn to use some tools. Because if you tell us that you're using this tool, however hard you defend it, it may not be defensible. So it will be easier to just adopt a certain tool because of what is the state of art. So that is something that you need to be aware of. So there will be some learning curve. I don't know the background you guys have in terms of programming. I know Paul, you seem to have done some software development. What about others? Mohammed, in your internship, I don't know which kind of programming languages you've been using.
Yeah, I've come across Python. Can you hear me? I've come across Python, Java, bit of HTML and CSS. So I have a foundation and understanding, which of course, at least I can improve on that. But my foundation is good, it's strong. Yeah. So I have the understanding for almost more like of the languages. Just need to do some brush up here and there.
Okay, good to hear that. Then you need to, have you taken projects on these online platforms? I know there are online platforms where you can do some competition for doing projects. Have you taken advantage of that, or you're still studying?
No, I'm still studying, but I've gone through the requirements and I've gone through this kind of competitions as in to see what they expect, but not really taken part in any one of them. Yeah.
All right, all right. I know once you're through with your studies, then you can learn those opportunities. Actually,
Yes.
those competitions are usually good because this.
It helps to build. It helps to build yourself and your portfolio.
Yeah, sure. And that is a portfolio that anybody can see from wherever they are. They can see actually the work that you've done, what you're capable of doing. So that's very good, Muhammad.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Can we hear an experience from another person in terms of programming? If you've not done, then we also want to hear, because that we would also want to hear about that. So don't it's not just for those who've done programming, who are acquainted, but we also want people who, if you've not done any programming, please you can also share with us your experience, because that will be very, very important for this project.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So yeah, as you said, I've got very minimum experience with this programming thing.
Yes.
So I don't know how the guidance will be, because it seems that there's a lot of programming to be done.
Okay, okay. Which kind of programming have you done? Which language have you interacted with?
Not anything much. We just learned certain things in the class, but not really expertised on that. Then it's been a while now. I mean, we did it about 2.5 years ago.
Okay, which language were you using? Cabo, which language did you use? Okay,
Actually, it was about 3 years ago when I first did the first class. So I'm not even like really very sure about it, to be very honest.
Okay, okay. Thank you for your honesty.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other person who has issue in terms of programming background?
I know a bit of programming, but
Yes.
when it comes to me being alone doing it and knowing the codes, keeping the codes and generating them is quite, like when you're making a code and then you're just thinking that, am I doing the right thing? Is it the right code I'm using to generate this work? Sometimes you have experience in programming, but then you don't know what is the use, or just confusion just comes like, is it okay? Do I use this, or is it going to be a bad idea? That's questions come in when you're doing coding alone.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the challenges I do face. But yes, I do have experience in coding. I know Java, Visual Basic, C++, and then HTML, CSS. And then just yesterday, I was going through the R Studio where I learned a lot. Even if I didn't know anything, watching a video, doing it, I was practicing. I did almost like for an hour. I did the coding for an hour, understood what R Studio actually does. And it was a good experience. But then now, how to use it, where to use it, that's the question. So
Okay.
yeah, those are the challenges you face when you're doing this.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Niral, for that also very candid um, explanation. I think, yeah, that's good. Once you understand this, then it becomes very easy because whichever background you have, you want to move together and ensure that at least we make a step. That is basically why we are attending this class. So, Cavo, don't give up. This is at least you will add some inch on your programming skill set, and that's why we are here. Okay, thank you. Any other person can share? Zainab?
Yes, sir.
What is your background in terms of programming?
Well, I know PHP, HTML.
Yes.
Then in terms of database, Oracle, MySQL,
Okay.
and Visual Basic,
Okay.
a bit of Java, and C++. Yeah, and a bit of C++.
Okay. So you have a good skill set, which you can easily select and apply appropriate one depending on the project, the problem that you want to solve. That's right.
Yeah, at least I can try.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. Sahil. Okay, we have Sahil and Sahil Sheikh.
Okay, I have basic knowledge with Python, Java, and C++, and intermediate skills with HTML, PHP,
Okay.
and MySQL.
All right, right. All right, Sahil, good to hear that. Okay. All right. Sahil Sheikh.
Sir, I have basic knowledge with HTML, CSS, and Python, along with PHP, some PHP.
All right. Okay, that's good. And with the databases?
MySQL.
Sorry?
MySQL.
Okay, okay. MySQL, okay. Okay, that's good. All right. I don't know if Daniel is there.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, can you share with us?
Yeah, I know a bit of Python and Java.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe those two.
Okay, okay.
But mostly Python.
All right. Django, you're good with it? Or Flask?
Yeah, the web framework.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Diego? Okay, Diego has responded to. He has background in programming. James?
Well, last term we used PHP and Oracle.
Right.
So I'll probably use that again, depending on what's the requirement. I looked at the assignment outline, the scenario for our group. It seems fairly basic. I don't know if it will change. It says just to create a system that promotes sports and then stores users' requirements for a broadcast platform. So
Right.
I don't know if it will get more difficult than that or more involved, but that seems like just creating a website with a database backend would work for it. So if it's not that, then I've not really used too much other stuff. JSON, but that's
okay.
I think that's applicable for this one.
Okay.
Visual Basic, I probably did about 20 years ago, so I probably wouldn't use that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good to hear. Good to hear that. James, thank you. Thank you. You've also been helping us sharing content. Thank you. All right. James wants to reuse his code from CET 326. Paul, you've shared something?
No, I was just making fun of James talking about Oracle and PHP.
Okay.
I was just looking at the similarities on the part where you're capturing customer data.
Yes.
Spectator data, the country addresses. There's something you can reuse from those older modules.
All right.
Yeah.
By
I had to go through the pain of learning Oracle and then relearning PHP. So now I understand it again. Now, why would I want to choose something else? Make my life easy.
All right, James. Okay, what we need to understand is that yes, you can reuse your modules, whichever modules you have developed, but it has to fit. You have to explain. You have to. Will not ask you whether you used which kind of module, but remember this. This will be very systematic. It will be very, very systematic, and you should be guided by your own urge to learn something. Do you want to be a better person after the end of this unit? So that should guide everything that you do. Do I want to gain something after submitting this assignment? Will I be happy with how I am compared to how I was, compared to how you are now? Will you be better? Yeah, so that is what should guide everything. And with the kind of interrogation we'll have, if you've just lifted something from somewhere that you've worked on and presenting it here, you'll find that if you didn't do a thorough work, then it will come out clear. But this one doesn't mean that you cannot reuse what you had developed before. Only that if you are guided by those principles and you are going to follow the given recommendation, and we are going to see that you have actually done what is required, yeah, then yeah, that's what we'll be happy with. But what we are desisting from is downloading codes, picking somebody's work and presenting. Yeah, that one will not be tolerated, because if it is detected, then it amounts to plagiarism, and you know the kind of effect of plagiarism. If you have some work somewhere, or in one way or the other, don't pick somebody's work and present it here, because that's why I'm also here. So I'll just know that this one, you picked it somewhere and you are presenting somebody's work. And that's what we are not doing that here, because we just allow you to you not even be attending the class. So those are the things that you need to be aware of, that you are going to do your own work. You are going to be given a scenario, you're going to identify a problem, and you are going to solve that problem using the recommended approaches. That is what should guide us. And in the end of it, you need to do some reflection on yourself. Are you a better person now? Are you a better student? Can you now develop better products, that is? So those are the things that need to guide us in this course. All right, I've seen James, you shared the previous scenario. So let's wait. Let's wait for the assignment for this class, for this module. So up to that point, I would want us to stop there, unless somebody has another burning question. If I've not called you out, There are some whom I could not talk to. I believe you are able to hear us. And please, something that we need to try and adhere to, ensure that your gadgets work, because I'm very happy with those who have even put their cameras on. I'm able to see you. I know now, if we meet again now, at least I can identify Muhammad, I can identify James, identify Sahil, Paul, at least somehow I've known you. So the others, please, next class, please try to have your gadgets working so that we have a complete class yeah, in this engagement. James, you say you are the only you're the only Mzungu. Okay. All right. You're much welcome. You're much welcome. Feel welcome. And I think we learn together. And that's the good thing with the education. It brings all manner of people from very deep backgrounds, and we can contribute together to knowledge, because knowledge is universal and it brings us together, and we learn and enjoy. Yeah, so up to that point, unless there's a burning question or a burning issue, I would want us to end here. All right. Okay, so thank you all. You have a nice week, and let's meet in our next class. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening, and hopefully by next class we should have gotten our assignment. So then at least we can be at a better place. But thank you for explaining. In case of anything, we'll always ask you. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Okay, welcome.